In this session, we will have a focus on the Netherlands and Dutch initiatives. And before going into that, I would like to introduce myself. I'm Fernando Liesa. I'm the Secretary General of ALICE, the Alliance for Logistics Innovation through Collaboration in Europe. And this initiative for these activities comes as part of our ALICE thematic group on zero emission vehicles and energies for freight transport and logistics. And we are gladly organizing this together with EM Europe and the ministry in the Netherlands, the CalStart initiative Drive to Zero that has joined recently, and we are then doing this in partnership together with them. Then Police and Entrance project that is supporting this initiative. So as part of ALICE, we have different thematic groups and different activities and different activity fields and different projects. And in this one, or in this area, what we are trying to get to know better the different countries' initiatives and having discussions and interactions between companies, governments, and trying to identify together with all the stakeholders how we can really accelerate the way forward to decarbonization of road freight transportation and logistics. And for the opening, I would just like to mention that from an ALICE perspective, it's very important that we look into this transition that we are facing in a very holistic way. And this means that we need to look into the transition on the vehicle side, the infrastructure that is required, also the energy, because unless we move faster in creating renewable energy, will not be faster enough in decarbonizing our freight transport and logistics. And really important is how to get the conditions for the market uptake, and then finding the logistics models and the use cases, business models to really create a sustainable framework also from the economic point of view to implement these technologies. But I don't want to go further on this. We have great speakers today, and then I would like to first hand over to Peter Wilbers from Electric Mobility Europe that will also do part of this welcome and introduction.
Thank you, Fernando. Good morning, everyone. My name is Peter Wilbers. I'm deeply involved in EM Europe, Electric Mobility Europe. We'll come to that later on. My employer is Rijkswaterstaat, the executive part of the Ministry of Infrastructure and Water Management. Rijkswaterstaat is responsible for the construction and maintenance of the main roads, waterways, and the waterworks in the Netherlands, and also responsible for facilitating the sustainable use of these infra networks, including the transition towards zero emission road mobility, the topic of today's online workshop. And this meeting, as you said already, Fernando, is part of a series of online workshops co-organized by EM Europe, ALICE, Rijkswaterstaat, the Ministry of Infrastructure and Water Management, and CalStart Drive to Zero, and with the kind support of the Polis Network and the Entrance project. The workshops actually originate from the cooperation already started in the Aeronet Co-Fund Electric Mobility Europe, abbreviated EM Europe. And EM Europe was completed at the end of 2021, but the cooperation has continued since, and with these online workshops. The Aeronet Co-Fund EM Europe promoted the rollout of electric driving in Europe through transnational cooperation and pooled funding of innovation projects. And we actually had two main components in EM Europe, being firstly the funding of innovation projects. Eventually about 20 million euro went into these innovation projects. And a second part was the policy cooperation component, with a very intense exchange on the policy level on good practices and experiences. And this policy cooperation component turned out to be very inspiring, informative, and fruitful. So this policy cooperation part and the network built up and already expanded in EM Europe will be further expanded. This is the interesting part in an upcoming cooperation and support action, a CSA. And this CSA is a response to a now open call in Horizon Europe and will aim at accelerating zero emission road mobility. So it's a bit wider than only electric mobility. It's including all other aspects towards the pathways to zero emission road mobility. The nice acronym of this initiative is ePower Up, and the full title is European Research Policy Network Accelerating Emission-Free Road Mobility Uptake. The challenging part is that the submission deadline is already on the 20th of April, 17 o'clock Central European Time. And it is for now, it looks like that we are going to have more than 20 ministries, their agencies, or other delegated organizations, their proxies, participating in the consortium of ePower Up. The start date will then be assumably about, let's say, around the turn of the year. For more information on this new initiative related to today's topics, you may contact me or, let's say, the envisaged coordinator of TÜV Rheinland Consulting in the person of Miss Marcia Giacomini. Marcia is also present here at the online table. So you are very much welcome to, let's say, to inquire further on the details of this initiative and to express your interest to either me or Marcia Giacomini. So let's not use up much more time in the introduction because, as you said, Fernando, we have quite some interesting speakers to share the, let's say, informative messages. I saw the presentations, everything is well prepared, so I have high expectations of the presentations to come. So Fernando, I hand over to you. I think you're going to introduce the speakers. Yep, thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Peter, for the insights and the great news you have shared with all of us. And as of Alice, we are really happy to be part and share this journey with EM Europe and looking forward to this new coordination and super action that, by the way, it's part of one of the partnerships under Horizon Europe called 2.0, in which Alice is supporting. So then we provide recommendations. So we are very glad the high take up of this CSA and really looking forward to collaborate with you. But let's move into the contents